Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid, just going to dive into Bitcoin. Big up the CoinsKid crew. So the long that we spotted from the other day, the little micro impulse, the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the leading diagonal with the corrective waves coming back. Okay, it's been fruitful, but me personally, I'll always tell you what I'm doing. I actually jumped out of that little micro long opportunity because what we did here, we started to come up, like I said to you, if you close outside of this level resistance, this is your long up, this is where you go long, and because you're breaking resistance of basically a zigzag correction overlapping waves after 5 waves up, really simple technical analysis. And at that point you put your stop on the previous pivot low, okay, and that was it. That's what I did. But as it started to come up like this, back test this level resistance, it was squeaky bum time, but it never lost the low, so it started to come back up and I was making money. It's at that point when we created this bearish divergence on the hourly, I actually jumped out. Okay, I jumped out, took some profit, very minimal profit right there, because I did think, because of the bearish divergence we're building on the daily, that Bitcoin would actually start to create the C wave of an ABC zigzag after 5 waves up. Well, I was completely wrong, and this is trading, this is technical analysis, this is what it is, as your pants down. For example, the bearish divergence on the daily, it didn't play out, did it? Bitcoin went against that after that close on the daily as well, which is building a little bit of confidence of the fact that we would see this C wave zigzag coming back down after 5 waves up. It came back down and then bolted. So I was wrong, because the daily bearish divergence there didn't play out. Okay, so again, always on my hands up, but this was a lovely little move, wasn't it? I should have just stuck to my guns on that, but it is what it is. This is trading, like I said to you, as your pants down, but I did make a small amount of money, but not as much as I could have done if I'd have just remained in the trade, been assertive, relied on the data right there and just let the trade play out, because that was a fruitful little trade after 5 waves up, like I said to you, micro impulse, ABC zigzag wave back. When we start to come back up here, okay, and we start to break out, I did honestly think, this was zigzag coming back up, and what we was looking at as a big C wave coming back down to this neckline because of the bearish divergence on the daily, something like this. Okay, so this particular ABC correction was in already. I was looking at something like that, a zigzag coming back after 5 waves up. Okay, so this little zigzag was done in here. Do you see this? So this little zigzag was completed here. Here's your A, here's your B, here's your C, some kind of flat wave correction. Then you've had that small little move, back test the level resistance and support, and then you come back up and bolted. Now as this started to come back down, if you'd have had your stops on there, again, it would have been squeaky bum time, but it never lost the low. So structurally, this is another impulsive move for Bitcoin. You've made a new local high for the year. So personally, I did jump out of that particular opportunity. Should have stuck to my guns, okay? And I got the ABC zigzag wrong. It wasn't here. But like I said to you, if you can always identify 5 waves coming up, look for the overlapping waves coming back, and they give clues. Now, one thing I was leading, the fact that was a little impulsive move, like I said to you, was this move here. You see this move? The 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5. In my opinion, that was sort of telling us that was a C wave, basically, of a sort of little micro ABC correction here. Here's your A, here's your B, and that was your C. Okay, so you've had 5 waves down, and then you have 5 waves coming back up. So respectfully, that's your C wave, and this is the start of a little micro impulsive move. You was looking for a correction coming back anyway, but I actually got this wrong. The low was there. Okay, I should have stuck to my guns, and I'm sorry about being wrong on that. I was looking at a kind of ABC zigzag coming back down to this neckline, but we never got it. So the completion of the correction is in here right now. This is another impulsive move because you took out this eye and you're taking out this eye. Okay, so Bitcoin's doing well. We've got to give it the benefit of the doubt at the moment. It is making a series of higher, local highs day after day, month after month this year. It's doing really well. So I'm going to show you some technical targets. I do actually think Bitcoin's in. I'm going to show you those targets on a zoomed out level, but this little micro long, it did play out, but I was a little bit too scared, to be honest with you. I let the emotion get the better of me, but I just should have stayed in this particular trade, but I didn't. Okay, I made a small amount of money, but not as much as I could have on this little breakout right now. Okay, so let's dive into the daily time frame and show you what I'm looking at on this technical target for Bitcoin. Okay, so quickly before I dive into the daily time frame, show you some technical targets that Bitcoin is potentially in right now, that I just want to show you this beautiful buy and go to the beat signal that we spotted, and I relayed to you at the time way back there in June. Like I said to you, you do usually print it and then come back into it, which we did. We printed it just there, then with the correction back into that particular signal, held it, never lost it, look, never lost that low, and then held the structure of the EMAs as well, never created a death cross, a sell and go to the beat signal at that instance, and then we're bolted. So that's been a beautiful signal yet again. Data not emotion. Like I said to you, relaying the data right there, that has always been a fantastic signal for Bitcoin. Okay, it's never lost a low. When I say the signal, it means it's never lost a low from which it's come. It's always gone on to break the local high from which it's created, i.e. that's your local high, and that's your local low. This particular signal, like rocking or shit for Bitcoin, has always led to a break of the all-time high before losing the low. So technically, data, that is on our side right now, and that's what we have to respect. If you remember way back when we broke down like this and we start to come up in this new impulsive wave, creating this higher high here, I was looking for a correction coming back. We met the 1618 like an absolute boss at that point, if you remember. We're coming back for a correction. As we started to lose the 20, it's getting a little bit squeaky bum time right there, and then we start to come up, a little bit of a bull trap. Once we rolled here, losing this low, this is where, at this instance, when we created the death cross, the sell and go to the beach signal from CoinsKid, I was projecting to the downside because of the data. And again, this is why I'm projecting to the upside at this point, simply because of the data. Okay, so if the tide changes at any point and we start to create death crosses or lose a 20 EMA consistently holding as resistance, then you'll see me projecting to the downside. Okay, but until that day comes, we've just got to respect the data. We're doing well. Okay, so if we move back in time, I can show you how good this particular signal is. Now you can get this signal into your charts. It's really easy. Okay, it's called the 20 and the 55-week EMA. There's a tutorial on CoinsKid.com in the link section and in each and every single video description. Okay, so these signals are like rocking or shit. You can clearly see it doesn't go back that far, but we came all the way down and then we created that beautiful golden cross just there, and then we came back into it. We never lost the low from which we came, and then boom, we bolted, taking that local high. Again, we rolled down here, create the death cross, get out, capitulation, double bottom down here, created this beautiful signal. Look at that, we never lost the low from which we came before taking out the high. Beautiful. Again, same here, bear market 2018, capitulation. Prior to the capitulation, we created the death cross. We were squeezing. If I was making videos back there, you can clearly see the descending triangle anyway for Bitcoin. Looking at compression lead to expansion, boom, you got it. Death cross was indicative of that. Okay, got the death cross, come back up, golden cross, beautiful buy and go to the beach, start to bolt up, come all the way back down, never lost the low from which you've come, then took out the local high. So it's a really, really fruitful signal that, again, data, not emotion. Then we had a bit of an in out because obviously the corona dump right there in 2020 came back down, created a death cross, and boom, bolted right back up in a V-shaped recovery, holding the 20 as we go. So this is what we're looking at. We need to be holding this thick yellow line, the 20, and not creating the death cross signals, because the minute we do, that's bearish. Okay, and we have to project to the downside at that point. But at the moment, the data in the chart suggests that Bitcoin is in a whopping bull market and it's looking for continuation to the upside against all the disbelievers and the people that are still waiting for 12k, and finding any reason to be bearish. They're just ignoring the data. Do you understand? So again, data not emotion. At the moment, I'll just keep relaying the data to you. If we see a breakdown for Bitcoin, like I said to you, one of the key indicators there is losing a 20 from this point. If we see multiple closes below that key level resistance and support right there, the 20-week EMA on the weekly time frame, then it's bearish. Okay, in this instance, and then obviously we create the death cross. We got to project to the downside with that. But you can clearly see every single time, it's not bullshit, it's not hopium. Every time we have created the beautiful buy and go to the beach, the 20 and the 55MA golden cross on a weekly time frame, it's always led to the local high being broken before losing the local low. So technically, that's it. That's your bottom, and in theory, we should be coming up and taking out the high. Now, if we don't, we start to come back up and we create a death cross, then obviously something's broken, the data is no longer true, and we're in a new sort of paradigm for Bitcoin, aren't we? In a new phase or whatever. But so far, so good. I'm just relaying the data to you. Let's take a look at those daily technical targets that Bitcoin looks as though it's in right now. Looking at Bitcoin on a daily, it's doing okay. I think we're currently in a technical target. I'm going to show you some sort of micro targets in a moment, but on a daily, I think we've broken out of a falling wedge here, and I've shown you this multiple times. A third point of contact, just like this wedge down there, this channel falling down. And no, a lot of the time, when I was relaying this data and message to you, that if ever we do see that, people saying no way, you're permeable and things like that, but it's just data. Okay, so again, data not emotion right now, breaking out, falling back to the 20 in May, holding its support, starting to coil up, looking to progress and get to the each point of contact. Now, the invalidation of such in the short term will be if Bitcoin breaks down below that thick killer line. Break down below that, then you're no longer in this wave three like you were there, looking to come up. You're in a macro correction basically. So we'll keep an eye on that going forward. Okay, I think that what we've done, a potential scenario anyway, from this low, we've broken out, we've had a wave one at that point, and then at that point, like I said to you, some kind of ABC zigzag coming back. This is a flat correction, some kind of bull trap there in July as well. Confluence is a DXY and many other coins that did that as well. And equally, the confidence that is the top, not necessarily this ABC that everyone were looking at, was the fact that Ethereum at that point, and then the likes of Pepe at that point as well, took off into space. So there's stacks of confidence that in April, that was a true top of an impulsive move right there for Bitcoin. Ever since you've been in this flat correction, potentially some kind of ascending triangle. I'm going to show you that in a moment. And what we've done, we've broken out the third point of resistance, just like this falling wedge, third point of resistance. Like I said to you, kick back, relax. If it's an ABC, we should in theory break out on the third point of resistance and actually go signal. But I've been trying to find, lower signals and lower reasons in the charts for this to tell us that it's bullish. And so far, those particular signals that are relaying to you on this drop here, the 5 waves, the bullish divergence, the bump and run pattern, they've been proven fruitful. So far, the fruits of our labour have coming true. What I think we've done here for Bitcoin is technically really nice, and no one's looking at it, because what we're doing right now, like I said to you way back when I made the video, the 5 waves of death here, the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5. At this point here, I was looking at some kind of Adam and Eve bottom. Okay, I said to you, if we start to come up here, this is a beautiful signal. It's your go signal with your stop loss down here, minimal risk trade right there. If we do start to do that, then I think we'll run into this leg of resistance here, which is this previous support that's been lost. We'll create some kind of ABC at that point. We did exactly that, and then after that I think we're coming up, okay, and we'll get to technical targets, and that remains, okay. That's my target, that's my projection for Bitcoin until at this point we break down below the 20-week EMA. So that's my support going forward. It's not bull tide, it's not moonchartism or whatever, people say this, that and the other, but it's just simple technical analysis. So within this cluster here, what we did do, if you take a look, we've broken out multiple patterns. Let me show you. So technically Bitcoin's looking good. It's in patterns to the upside. This is something to try and relay to you. It's, the technical target is to that point there and that point there, around about 47k, and this is something I relayed to you way back when. So if we take a look at this particular scenario for Bitcoin, we do have a trend line just there, and you can clearly see that what we did here is we've created some kind of head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders pattern for Bitcoin, okay, and I've relayed this to you before. Left shoulder, head, micro right shoulder, and then boom, we bolted. So in theory, Bitcoin, it did break out here. It ran into the resistance of this level of previous support. Look at that. There was a hard task getting through it. That's your point of resistance. Come back, bull trap, boom, held this high low, held this neckline. Look at that, and then boom, you're breaking out of an inverse head and shoulders. So the technical target for that particular pattern right now is from the neckline all the way down to the head, and you clearly see at the moment Bitcoin has not necessarily got to that, and that's exactly where it's trying to get to, around about the 40k mark, which is this leg here, this God candle breakout. Look at that. Equally, what we've done here for Bitcoin by doing this pattern, resistance, support, resistance, support, this technically could be some kind of double bottom pattern and ascending triangle like that, and what we've done is broken out a third point of resistance. So technically the support for that right now, just like the support for this breakout of this inverse head and shoulders, was this neckline here, which we held twice. Then the technical support for this is 30909, which is this high here. So break down below that, you're going to invalidate a small little ascending triangle pattern there that Bitcoin's formed from that point there all the way down. You're going to invalidate it right now, and there's a little bit of confluence at this point here is stacking up with a technical target of an inverse head and shoulders pattern. So in theory, Bitcoin should be looking to get roughly the 40k level before any significant pullback to this neckline. If it does start to pull back anytime soon, then this is support that has to hold, because if it doesn't and it starts to fall below this support like this and turns into resistance once more, you can see you're losing the 20 at that point, and then it's squeaky bum time, the fact that that's been some kind of bull trap. But like I've always said to you, the technical pattern that's in play is valid until invalidated away. At the moment, we broke out the inverse head and shoulders pattern like this, back tested the neckline twice in a high compression and broke out the 5-point resistance. So technically you are in a target to around about 40k, aren't you, of the inverse head and shoulders pattern, until you're not. So it's doing okay. So respectfully, at the moment, the macro move is the all-time high with that level of resistance there as well at 47k. So I have to respect what we're doing here for Bitcoin. We're looking okay. We're making new local highs, day by day, month by month. So it's all good until it's not. The invalidation of such in the short term is a 20-week EMA. Now let's take a look at that 20-week EMA. You see how it's starting to go vertical here? That's a telltale sign of a wave 3, because look, once you start to escape the velocity here of a wave 3, start to go vertical with the price action, the 20-week EMA. So this could indeed be a wave 3, which is about to absolutely come up and melt everyone's faces, and everyone's just not expecting it. But this is what we've been looking at for a very, very long time, that in theory this should be a macro wave 5, a blow off top for Bitcoin in its stacks of confluence with many other coins that I've been looking at for a very long time, that come 2024, in mid 2024 as well, because the blow off top theory that I looked at the other day with time, we should be breaking highs here for Bitcoin if this is a wave 5, and this should be a wave 3, which in theory it is, because what you've done, if you take a look, we've took out all this level of previous resistance, which was previous support, we've took it out and we're melting through it. So this is what wave 3s do. So we are in the early stages of a wave 3. If I'm correct, Bitcoin should be heading to a blow off top, an all-time high, possibly over the next couple of months leading into 2024. Hope you enjoyed that update. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Remember, the pattern that's at play is valid until invalidated away. Take care, everyone. Back to another update on Bitcoin. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Bye-bye.